Hi, I'm Chelston Pinto. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I currently work with FC Benglauru United and I'm also the founder of Rapid Sport Fitness, a high performance gym in Bangalore. I'd like to thank Humans of Indianfootball for giving me this opportunity to speak about the importance of an S&C coach in football. So the first point is to help players meet the physical demand of the game. As you know, football is a 90-minute sport. It involves different factors such as speed and agility. It involves change in direction, acceleration, deceleration, high impacts, involves jumping, walking, sprinting. So it's a mix of different characteristics that form the whole play arena for each player. Just the factors that the S&C coach needs to take care of is right from your warm-ups to prepare each player to meet the training demands or to meet the match demands. Your strength training, your power training, your speed training, speed and agility circuits, sometimes the small-sided games to make the fitness as coach specific as possible, to ensure players are fit and available to the head coach for all the training sessions or for maximum training sessions and all the matches. The second point is periodized training routines. So football season generally has a pre-season, it has an in-season, and then it has an off-season. So we try and divide the pre-season where we do pre-season testing for all players, so we know as to how the players arrive to the football club or to the football team and where we need to work on them, the imbalances. We try and take help of the physiotherapist as well to do a musculoskeletal assessment and accordingly make a training plan for the team as well as for the individual. Apart from that, in the pre-season, we try and ensure that each player can meet the training demands and the match demands that we require during the season, and we work together with the head coach to ensure that each player puts in that desired work rate that is needed from his position during a match. So we try and individualize it as much as possible in a team environment. Apart from this, we also have to ensure that the players and the team is peaking at the right point of time in terms of physical capabilities. So we structure the periodization plans accordingly, wherein, if, for example, you work on a strength plan during the pre-season and then we move into power and explosive training when we reach the in-season competition time, and from there on it's all about maintenance and increasing the intensity and increasing the performance of every player. The third point is the rehabilitation process. Now, during the rehabilitation process, we work closely with the physiotherapist and take care of a smooth transition into the return of play for the player. So we help in terms of the strength training, the balance, proprioception, your stability training, and just to ensure that the player is well conditioned even when he's injured. Say, for example, if he has a lower body injury, still try and keep his conditioning levels high so that when he recovers, he can directly move on to the pitch for training. So if he has a lower body injury, he would still, if he can still cycle or if he can still do some form of conditioning in terms of boxing, in terms of rowing, in terms of swimming, different drills or conditioning workouts in the pool, just so that his aerobic work rate is still there and he's not lost it because of his injury. The rehabilitation process is very important. Also take care of the load management. So there's something called as RPE, that's the rate of perceived exertion. It's a simple form that is filled up by players at the end of every session. So just to ensure that the gym training sessions as well as the on-field training sessions are in sync with what we've planned, and it helps us in also knowing as to what the fatigue levels are and what the recovery levels are of each player. So it's good to check the wellness of every player and take into consideration not only the RPE forms but also GPS trackers that we have on each player and also what we see, because that's important to take into consideration all these factors when you consider the load management of a team. In terms of recovery process, we help in terms of active recovery, ensuring that each player recovers after every session. Active recovery could be, after a match day as well. We don't really, give it a full day off just so that the lactic acid is released from the body and there's faster recovery for the game day +2 or, for the training session ahead of the game. Your last thing that we look after is the off-season training. So now off-season training is equally important because this is where players recover from niggles, players recover from hard impacts, and this is where players can work in terms of putting on extra muscle or getting faster or any other individual goal that they have. This can be worked during the off-season plan because it doesn't really come into contact with football. And during the off-season, we try and individualize the training plan according to what the player requires, so that he comes back to pre-season a lot better than what he was the last season. So this is just the gist of what a strength and conditioning does with regard to improving performance physically for a football team. If you have any questions, you can definitely ask me, and I'll be happy to get back to you.